congratulations on the film.
Thank you very much.
Thoroughly enjoyable.
Thank you.
So the genesis of this one, I believe that you were writing the script. When did it kind of tipple onto you directing it? Was that the plan all along, or did it just...
Originally I wanted someone else to direct it, but my first director fell out. Then I approached about 6 or 7 others, and they all, over the course of a couple of years, didn't want to do it, and so I was left with the script on my own. So I thought, well, I might as well try and do it myself.
Was that always a plan as an actor to become a director, or
not really?
Just happenstance that it came out that way?
It came out that way.
Yeah.
But now I'm hell bent.
He's a fascinating character anyway, but this part of his life is very, very fascinating. I mean, why was it? What inspired you to make it as part of this part of his life?
Well, partly because the other 3 films that have been made about him deal with the other part of his life, and so it's kind of virgin territory. And also just because this part of his life really fascinates me. I love it. I love the end of the 19th century. I love the idea of Wilde, this last great vagabond of the 19th century. It's a very romantic story. It speaks to me personally a lot as another gay man working in show business, which is a very different world. And I think he's just always been a great source of inspiration.
In terms of directing, I mean, what was the biggest challenge that you found when you were making this one?
Really getting the money together. The initial years of just disappointment and not getting it together were outweighed anything else. The rest of it was the making of the movie itself was quite stressful because we were very short of time always. But at the same time, it was I was surrounded by great people. The strain was shared by a lot of people, so that was great.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I hope you're great success with it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you. I can imagine the lure of Rupert Everett writing and directing a film was enough for you to say yes, but you get this amazing script as well.
That's very well put. Yeah, I was like, Rupert Everett, written and directed a film by Oscar Wilde. Of course, I'll meet him. Script, wow. It was like, I actually talked to Rupert about a different part first, but often you don't read the whole script when you go in for a part as an actor. You go in the next day or something, and I got the script that weekend and read it. I think I read it twice that weekend. It's the most amazing script. It's very, very real, and yet with a great imagination and warmth to it. And then I went back in to talk to him about Robbie, and it's just like a dream.
Yeah. Let me ask about Robbie, because he's a fascinating character, and he's a part of the life of Oscar that. He's kind of like down in the dumps, as it were, and he comes in and he kind of breathes a new life into him. I mean, it must have been a great relationship to read on the page, but then to explore it with Rupert must have been amazing.
Yeah, it's moving. They're different. They're different people in many ways, and yet they had this touching connection. And I spoke a lot to the biographer of Robbie on Skype at night and stuff like that to try and. He's a complex man, and when he was younger, he was much more open and outward, I think, and then. He got bullied at university for being gay, and he became quite serious in his beliefs and very brave for being openly gay at that time to his family and friends. Hardly anybody did that, and I think Oscar recognised that. And between them and Reggie in the film, and less so Bosie to do with it, but they found Bosie as well. They found a camaraderie and a kind of in being outsiders, and they set a path for the gay liberation movement, which Rupert talks about brilliantly, and I think it's true.
Yeah, I mean, Rupert's such an amazing actor. He's had such a great career, but this is his first, directorial go into directing. How was it working for him? Did he seem to have it down straight away, or was it kind of a process?
He was always learning how to direct because it was his first ever time, but it didn't seem like it because he knew the story so well. He just was Oscar. On the beach in Normandy, my first day, I hadn't seen the Judas Kiss, which he did on stage. I hadn't seen him play Oscar. And I hadn't seen his costume, and he arrived in his fat suit and his jaw enlarged. And at first I couldn't believe it because it was just such a transformation. But it felt like standing opposite Oscar Wilde, where they were 120 years ago. And he didn't really need to direct as much as sometimes the best directors, like the best football managers, can just like let the team around come up as opposed to. So he was amazing, and he's going to do so many more films, I'm sure.
I hope so.
It's so exciting.
Hey, how you doing? Scott from HeyUGuys. Lovely to meet you, man. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. I can imagine you get a script that's written by Rupert Everett, and then you hear he's going to direct it as well, and the passion that he has for this. I mean, you must have been sold pretty quickly.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the actual subject matter itself on Oscar Wilde is well known. Rupert's connection, Rupert's passion behind it. The fact that he wrote this, it's come from the mind and the pen of someone who can write no better. So and he's taken the helm. He took the helm to lead the way for everybody to follow, and we followed, and here we are. And I'm so proud.
Did you know much about the story and the character beforehand, or did you do research, or did you do more research when you got the part?
Well, for me, research is a huge part of any project. I wasn't hugely familiar with the ins and outs of Oscar Wilde and his life. I did know about the trial, I did know a little bit about that, but not in any great detail. So for me, it was about digging into what actually happened, because a lot of the story takes place post-trial and the story behind that, which I guess is the emotional journey. And so once you know the details, I think it's going on that roller coaster ride afterwards.
I mean, this is his directorial debut, and I mean, it looks like he's been doing it for a long, long time. Was it because your friend was saying that he kind of learned on set, but it seems like he knew it all along anyway, and such a passion that he really wanted to get this made?
Yeah, I mean, Rupert and me have been talking about this for quite a while, and really, even a couple of years before it actually got made, he already had his reference films. He already knew how he wanted it to be shot. He knew how this story needed to be told. You know, for a directorial debut, it's stunning, but it's no surprise to me, because I know how long he's been thinking about it, and I know how he's thought about it, and it's all intentional, and it's all on the day. So to say, you know, he learnt on the job or on the day, you know, yes and no. He's put a lot of work in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I wish you all the best of luck with the film, mate. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!